Hello, this is Max. Today, there will be a story about a woman who came to her native village, fell in love with a man, but a tragedy happened. You can subscribe to the channel after watching. It helps us a lot in realizing the content. Before re-entering her old residence, Tilly encounters Sergeant Ferret, who has brought her belongings. They engage in a brief conversation, during which Ferret expresses admiration for Tilly's attire before departing. Upon stepping into the house, Tilly is met with a state of disarray and filth. It is revealed that following her exile, her mother Molly had deteriorated mentally and lived in isolation. Though Tilly's primary reason for coming back to Dungatar is to care for her ailing mother, she also harbors a hidden agenda. Having been accused of murder in the past, she struggles to recollect the events of that fateful day. She attempts to inquire about it from Molly, but the elderly woman fails to recognize her own daughter. The subsequent day, Tilly helps her mother bathe and undertakes a thorough cleaning of the entire house. She is later seen burning piles of refuse outside their home, which signals her return to the town and evokes displeasure among its residents. During Dungatar's football match later that week, Tilly makes a stunning entrance in a red dress to watch alongside Molly. The sight of her attire distracts the male spectators, leading to a confrontation with the team's captain, Teddy. After their discussion, Tilly changes into an even more striking black dress. Encountering a childhood friend named Gertrude, who is distressed, Tilly picks up on Gertrude's longing for the attention of a prosperous man named William. Tilly offers to design a dress for her to wear at the footballers' dance party, despite Gertrude's skepticism. Back at the football field, Tilly showcases her dress, resulting in such a distraction that the Dungatar team easily wins the match. Following the game, Tilly and Molly express gratitude to an elderly woman named Irma and reminisce about her assistance over the years. Later, Tilly visits a school where a boy named Stuart met his demise years earlier. Memories resurface of Stuart's mistreatment towards her and her hiding atop a windmill to escape him. She also recalls seeking help from Gertrude, who did not provide assistance. Upon descending the windmill, Tilly is subdued by Stuart, who threatens her and Molly's lives against a wall. Despite remembering much of the encounter, Tilly struggles to recall the details of Stuart's actual death. Her attempts to trigger Molly's memory yield no results. Suddenly, Gertrude appears out of nowhere, requesting Tilly's expertise in crafting a dress for the upcoming dance. Tilly agrees, but in return, she probes whether Gertrude had informed Stuart about her hiding in the windmill during that past incident. Gertrude admits to doing so, using it as a safeguard against Stuart. Encountering Teddy the following day, Tilly becomes the target of his flirtations. He extends an invitation to the footballers' dance party, which she politely declines due to her commitments. Later that evening, Ferret arrives at Tilly's residence with a package. He explains that his duty obliges him to inspect the package due to Tilly's history. As he sifts through the fabrics, his more feminine inclinations become evident, disclosing his hidden love for designing and sewing women's clothing, even occasionally wearing them himself. Ferret then reveals that he banished Tilly under pressure from the town's councillor, Evan, who was aware of Ferret's clandestine persona. Evan coerced Ferret with the threat of exposing his cross-dressing proclivities if he didn't send Tilly away. Unexpectedly, Tilly doesn't react with anger toward Ferret. Instead, she appreciates his honesty and they quickly form a bond over their shared passion for fashion. At the footballers' dance party, the dress Tilly created for Gertrude captivates everyone present, including William. Meanwhile, Teddy takes Tilly and Molly to a movie, and afterward, he is invited to their home party. During their conversation, Tilly opens up to Teddy about her experiences working in various countries during her exile. She expresses her frustration with the town's residents who hold her and Molly responsible for Stuart's death. Teddy consoles Tilly, acknowledging the town's callous nature. He recounts how they even attempted to remove his brother Barney due to his differences. Eventually, Teddy admits his feelings for Tilly, prompting her to leave the conversation to attend to Molly. The subsequent day, several women, inspired by Gertrude's transformation at the dance, ask Tilly to create dresses for them as well. In no time, the entire town becomes enamored with Tilly's dressmaking skills. Soon, another dressmaker named Luna arrives in town, hired by jealous Evan to undermine Tilly's business. However, this scheme backfires when Gertrude opts for Tilly to design her wedding dress, deeming Una's creation unsatisfactory. Teddy later suggests to Tilly that her talents are underutilized in their hostile town, proposing they escape together. As their conversation intensifies, their proximity grows, and Teddy attempts to kiss her. However, even though she shares his desire, Tilly restrains her genuine emotions due to a perceived curse. Later on, William, who is set to marry Gertrude, asks Teddy to be his best man, and Teddy accepts. He subsequently visits Tilly, requesting her to create a suit for him to wear at the wedding. While taking measurements, their proximity leads to an unexpected kiss. At Evan's residence, Una is devastated by the loss of her clientele to Tilly. Evan offers her comfort, and Una proposes a physical relationship between them, revealing their ongoing affair. Marigold, Evan's wife, inadvertently witnesses their interaction through a window. Marigold decides to approach Tilly, seeking a dress. During their conversation, Tilly discovers that Marigold is unaware of the rumors surrounding Stuart's death and believes he fell from a tree. Tilly also learns that the school teacher, Beulah, was the sole witness to the incident. Suspecting Beulah's dishonesty, Tilly meets with Ferret and offers luxurious fabrics in exchange for Beulah's truthful testimony. Tilly then confronts Beulah, who eventually confesses to lying about witnessing the incident because of fear instilled by Evan. After this confrontation, Beulah rushes to the wedding to inform Marigold about Stuart's true fate. Tilly also arrives at the wedding and informs Ferret about Beulah's false statement. Tilly questions Ferret about Evan's authority to exile her, discovering that Evan had parental rights all along. He was, in fact, Tilly's father. Marigold becomes hysterical, accusing Tilly of her son's murder. Tensions escalate, and Teddy almost engages in a physical altercation with Evan. Desperate, Tilly implores Ferret to clear her name from Stuart's murder. Unfortunately, he asserts his inability to intervene as everyone in town, except Tilly, has an alibi. Tilly exits the scene with Molly, Teddy, and Barney following. Barney unexpectedly asserts that Tilly is innocent and recounts witnessing Stuart's actions that led to his own death. Teddy guides Tilly to the schoolhouse, helping her recollect the tragic event. He reassures her that she didn't kill Stuart. Teddy reminds her that Stuart used to pretend to be a charging bull, which ultimately led to his accidental death. Tilly recalls the details, and as the truth dawns on her, she breaks down in tears. Teddy comforts her, and their emotional connection leads to a physical encounter, spending the night together. Eventually, they head to the silo to gaze at the stars. During this time, Teddy proposes once again. However, Tilly remains hesitant, expressing her belief in a curse that seems to surround her. Teddy, on the other hand, dismisses the notion of curses and takes a daring step to demonstrate that belief. He jumps into the silo, aiming to defy any perceived curse. Regrettably, the silo contains sorghum that day instead of wheat. Tragically, Teddy's decision leads to his suffocation and untimely death. Subsequently, Tilly assists Teddy's mother in preparing his body for the funeral. However, the townspeople prevent her from attending the service, reflecting the enduring hostility toward her. Several days later, while Molly is at the grocery store, she encounters the town's women who unjustly blame Tilly for Teddy's demise, branding her as cursed. In a fit of anger, Molly defends Tilly's honor by reminding them that Teddy's fatal choice was an assertion of his love for Tilly and defiance against the town's animosity. Upon returning home, Molly finds Tilly still grappling with sorrow over Teddy's loss. Molly works to uplift Tilly's spirits and also reveals her own history with Evan. Molly shares that she met Evan when she was 20 and became pregnant. Reluctant to marry Evan due to his preference for his son, Molly was cast aside and replaced by Marigold, whom Evan married for her wealth. The subsequent day, Gertrude and her mother-in-law approached Tilly, requesting her assistance in crafting costumes for an upcoming play. However, Tilly declines their plea, expressing her unwillingness to help. Molly encourages Tilly to harness her extraordinary dressmaking talents as a means of resistance against the town's hostility. Molly also discloses her plan for Tilly. Later, Molly visits Irma, enlisting her help to drop off a letter at the post office. It becomes evident that the letter pertains to an entry in a drama competition, with Molly replacing Tilly as the sender to ensure the letter isn't intercepted due to Tilly's reputation. Molly gave Irma a cookie with something as a token of appreciation, but unfortunately, Molly had a stroke on her way home and passed away. Stricken with sorrow, Tilly succumbs to a night of heavy drinking in the company of Ferret. In her inebriation, Tilly deems a record player in need of fresh air and inadvertently hurls it outside, accidentally hitting Beulah, who had been eavesdropping on them. The following day, Ferret arranges for Beulah to depart to Melbourne by train, ostensibly to seek medical attention for her injuries. Unbeknownst to Beulah, Ferret's true intention is to have her committed to an asylum. Subsequently, the town chemist, who had mistreated Tilly during her childhood, meets his demise. He drowns in a pond due to Irma's intoxication caused by a treat from Molly. Irma is unable to prevent him from diving headfirst into the water. Meanwhile, the opposing team in the drama competition arrives at Tilly's doorstep, showing her the supposed letter she sent. Tilly realizes that Molly was the actual sender and decides to collaborate with the team to secure victory. When the chemist's assistant investigates the brownies and traces them back to Tilly's residence, the town accuses her of foul play. However, this time, Ferret intervenes to defend Tilly. He accepts responsibility for the incident, resulting in his own exile from the town. The following day, Tilly confronts Marigold, unveiling Evan's extramarital affairs. This revelation incites Marigold to assault Evan upon his return, inflicting wounds on his legs and leaving him to bleed. Days later, the town departs for the drama competition, only to discover that Tilly was behind their rivals' costumes. In tandem, Tilly readies herself to leave her house, igniting a fire within the residence. She propels a gasoline-soaked red fabric toward the town and proclaims her liberation from the perceived curse. Boarding a train, she bids farewell to her hometown with determination. The film concludes with the town's return to find Dungatar reduced to ashes. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.